Well, hey, this is Quick Wins for ADHD Moms. I'm Jess, and today is really fun. We have a special guest, and I've already been chatting with her, and she's amazing. You're gonna love her. This is Ada Gore. She's a public speaker and guided journal creator with a background in conflict management and consulting for dental practices and entrepreneurs. She's passionate about helping people get clear on what they want and how to move forward. Sometimes we get in our own brain and we just can't figure it out. And it's nice to have people like Ada who can help us get out of our own brain, get clear on what you want, and learn how to move forward. So today, Ada brings a gift to women everywhere, especially for those of us ADHD moms, through her lineup of guided journals and her inspiring talks. Her message is simple but very transformative. When we align with the natural rhythms of our bodies, we can biohack our way to greater productivity, deeper rest. Who doesn't want deeper rest? And a life that feels more abundant and fun. So I would like to introduce Ada. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about your quick win, and then we're going to go in and let you explain it.
Okay, so the quick win is permission slips per inner season. And to give you just a quick rundown of what an inner season is, it's a way of looking at your menstrual cycle through the 4 seasons rather than luteal and follicular and all these words that don't necessarily have a place to land. It's looking at it as winter, spring, summer, fall, back into winter. So winter is when you're menstruating, into spring when all your hormones kick back online and you start to blossom, into summer when you are just full of energy, full of estrogen, full of progesterone, ovulating, and then into fall when it starts to get chilly again and the leaves are falling off and you're wanting to retreat back inward and you might be a little bit spicy into your winter.
Ooh, I like that. The pumpkin's spicy.
Yeah, pumpkin spicy. Yeah. That's perfect.
That's a wonderful way to look at that. I love that. And well, dive in it a little bit more and tell me how do you track that or know what season you're in and things that you look for?
Yeah. So with ADHD or ADD, I don't have the hyperactive part, but my husband and all my children do. And our time blindness that a lot of us can have.
Yeah.
What I struggled with when I was younger is understanding, when you're in your summer, and you are so capable and you can get so much done, but then that drops off into fall and you're premenstrual and you're cranky and you're tired and you're wanting to eat more food. And when you're not paying attention to your menstrual cycle, as I wasn't, I just kind of knew when my period would come and that it would come each month. Like that was important to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't tracking all the changes that happened. And so I would have these expectations of myself to always be who I am in summertime, to always have all the energy, to always be able to overcome my time blindness, to always be able to organize and food prep and all those things. And so tracking this, very lightly tracking it with like, oh, I'm in my winter. Oh, I'm in my spring. I'm in my summer. I'm in my fall. And attaching a permission slip so that you don't have another thing to guilt yourself out about. Like when you leave your summertime, which was like just yesterday, it was summer, and all, but now it's like I'm cranky and I don't want to eat healthy and I don't, or I don't want to deal with this person right now, or why are my children driving me up the wall? Like why all of a sudden do I just suck? Or, why am I so tired? So these permission slips, the idea is it's a very simple mantra and you can write it down, which is really helpful, to get it out of our prefrontal cortex and to calm us down. Put it on a page or on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, or just say it as a mantra. Like when I'm in my spring, it's okay to start new things. Sometimes it's like we kind of get down on ourselves, especially when we have ADD and we're moms and we're busy. Like we start all these projects, but we don't maybe always finish them. We lose steam on them. Like it's okay. It's okay for me to start something fresh. I don't have to finish it right now. I can just start it and I can trust that I'll finish it at some point. And in my summer, It's okay to shine. Like right now, I feel frisky and fun and I want to go out of the house and that's okay. And I can make space for that in my life. And when I'm in my winter and I'm menstruating, it's okay to rest. It's okay. It's okay for me to rest. And just reminding yourself that you're not like this forever. You're not like this all the
Yeah.
time.
Even though it feels like it, winter feels so long and it feels like, I guess this is the new me.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a
Everyone.
slob who stays in my pajamas and bleeds and doesn't do anything. And my kids are just like, I'm not having like wonderful meals that I'm cooking for them. Sometimes it's like hamburgers and fries. And if you don't remind yourself, like, I am a woman, I follow the moon. I have inner seasons and they're okay. They're actually perfect and really well designed for me. And I'm supposed to rest right now.
Yeah.
And my kids are okay. And the spring chicken, she's coming back. And the summer queen, she'll be back too. And everything can wait. It's okay to rest. It's okay to start new things. And in fall, this is like a nice way of saying it. I have my own personal mantras that I won't share here because this is G-rated, but it's okay to edit is a way to look at it. So in your fall, it's wonderful to think about like in the fall, all of a sudden like the trees are naked and bare. I
Mhm.
feel like that's what becomes true in our life is all our relationships and things that aren't working, they're naked in front of us when we're in our fall. All of a sudden it's like something that a week ago would not have bothered me does bother me in my fall.
Mhm.
And that's by design. That's for me to look at it and say, well, maybe it bothers me because there's something not working here for me.
Mm.
Whether it's that I haven't put a boundary in place or that I'm pushing too hard in my summer and I maybe need to like dial things back, or it might be like, I'm not supposed to be in this position, in this career, in this whatever. And when I'm in my fall, I have the clarity. The truth is laid bare, and it's okay to edit and
That's
pay attention to
amazing.
that.
Yeah. And yeah, the reflection part I think is so important to move forward. And also to not have to take action on anything. Maybe this is just a time of getting clarity, but we don't have to take action on it until we've been through winter, and then maybe summer self can take care of that in a very tactful way.
You nailed it, Jessica. That's exactly right. Like I always say, and I inherited this from the people that have taught me, but bleed about it.
Bleed
Don't,
about it.
bleed about it. Like it's going
Yeah.
to come up in fall. And in my younger days, I just rushed right into all that conflict. Obviously, like I've got conflict management as my degree field for a reason. But
You're an expert.
learning, I'm an expert. Uh, learning how to just witness it in the fall and
I like that.
if and then bleed about it because you get clarity when you slow down and rest and you get quiet and you allow yourself to rest instead of being upset of like, why can't I just be on all the time? Especially if you have that hyperactive
Mm-hmm.
model, it's like you still need rest and maybe even more so. So finding ways to dial that in. So that's one of the reasons that I have guided journals. And my number one, the journal it's my favorite is called Sacred Seasons, and it's a journal that's made for ADHD or ADD women
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't have a ton of structure. It's a lot of blank open pages with just gentle prompts if you need them,
Yeah.
but
A
otherwise
little bit
just
of
pour your heart
structure.
out. There's a little bit of structure, but not a lot because I hate that.
Yeah.
Um, it helps you, it compartmentalizes the seasons. So you just journal, if you're in spring, you journal spring and you journal the day of your cycle and what's up. Like, how are your hormones? How are your emotions? Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to focus on, whatever you're looking at as you're learning to pay attention to your cycle. It's also a great place to write your permission slip of like, you know, I listened to one of your episodes where you were talking about time anchors,
Mm-hmm.
and this is kind of like that. It's a little bit of a time anchor about remembering that you have a menstrual cycle.
You were talking about it's okay going into you're going to be going into your fall season. And so giving yourself permission to enter that.
Yeah, permission slips. This is a, It can be, that whatever, we talk about on your show. I've been listening, I've been like binging all your episodes. But just talking about what little things can land that make you a little bit better, that make it a little bit easier to be you and enjoy it.
Okay, so for you, I love hearing other people what they do because I have my own little weird things. But like, so for you, what are your little anchor points, or what are the things that like keep you grounded?
Well, this has been a huge one. Just, I lived so much of my life, like not even really being cognizant or aware of how important my hormones and my menstrual cycle were. It just was not something that was taught to me or, other than track it. You need to know that you're having it monthly. You need to kind of know when it's coming. And for most of my life, honestly, it'd be like I would get my period and I'd be like, oh, yeah. So that's why I've been so, tired or wanting to eat so much. I'm not just a fat slob. That's why. That's why I'm tired. That's why, like it was a shocker every month when that would happen.
It still is for me. Like, I'm terrible at writing stuff down. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I have my period. And so being like shocked by that every month was not serving me, especially as a mom with my kids, because now when I give myself permission to like be a woman, to have a cycle, to have hormonal changes, to have different needs than what my husband has, to have different needs than what the workplace tells me I should have, to really understand that actually I'm a woman and I'm a mom. And that means that I need to slow down a lot more than I thought. And sometimes I need to nourish myself with more food than I needed in the summertime. When it was summertime, I was active and I was doing all these things. I wasn't even hungry, but I still needed to nourish myself, obviously. But in the fall and in the winter, I need a little bit more because my body is shedding and having these drastic hormonal changes, and that's all okay. Like sometimes I tell myself it's okay to eat
Yeah.
because I get all weird about like, well, but 3 days ago, like just a salad for lunch was totally fine. Why is it all of a sudden I want bread? Yeah, I'm just like, so these permission slips, they help for me, they really help anchor me into my body and into the time of my body instead of having it constantly be a surprise that I'm different every day. We're the moon. We're not the sun.
Yeah.
Men run on that solar, they have their high testosterone in the morning, it dips a little, they have a trough in the afternoon, then they have a resurgence in the evening, and they get more energy. We also have that circadian rhythm, but a larger governor for us is like the moon, where it waxes and it wanes. It
Yeah.
becomes full and it becomes new. We're every day changing. If you watch the moon, every day it's a little bit smaller and then it's gone, and then it gets a little bit bigger and then it's huge. That's us. We're more like that. We're different every day. And so with our time blindness and all the other layers,
Mhm.
it's so easy to forget that. And so this helps anchor me into my body and then into like my life. Like, okay, I got to manage my inner season, be aware of my inner season, give myself permission to be in my inner season. And then I can go about my life and like remember how to do that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I think with ADHD, we do have that disassociation with our bodies, right? And so many people have told me like, "Oh, have you done yoga? You would love, like it would be so good for you." I'm like, "I don't have the patience to just go slow and stretch." Like, yes, it feels good. It's wonderful, but like to do that every day, right? But it's that connection that slows your brain down, connects your body to your movement to, and so I love this. Anytime you can have a little bit of a structure and have a flexible structure, and this definitely fits within that. And of course, it's just a natural flow, and our hormones are slowly going up and slowly going down, and it's just like this beautiful rhythm. And I love how you brought out if we can just work with that, like it just can take away some of that mom guilt and give us permission to live a full life
Hmm.
and not,
Yeah, and like if you're, oh, sorry, but if you're a high performer,
yes.
like if you're that achiever, if you're that,
Yep.
harness this, like take a look at it and just know, because like we always, with our time blindness, we're like, there's only now and then there's everything else.
Yep.
But actually there are seasons, and if you can, it's been really hard for me, but I've slowly been able to, I'm not perfect at this either, but I have slowly been able to look at my calendar because I track it, obviously, and I journal it, and understand that, like, when the summer comes, that's when I take the kids to the zoo. That's when I do all those things. That's when I go on a podcast because I actually want, to get
You
in
have
there.
the energy and
And I
excitement.
have my
Yes.
body is really supporting me on that. But I don't want to schedule a podcast during my winter,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be like, oh God, why did I do this to myself? Like I just want to be on the couch in my pajamas, and obviously life goes on. That does not mean that when it's winter time, you don't
Need
have
to
to
do
like
it.
go out and gather firewood and
Yeah.
stuff. Like you got to do the
Right.
things.
And it takes more, like you can still do it, but it just takes more energy out of you, right? Whereas summer, it just feels more like a natural, like it gives energy instead of takes away the energy.
Yeah. And so you can begin to, as you become aware of this is like, I never, I never would have thought that my mission in life would be like to teach women about their period and their menstrual cycle.
Like
But it
what,
does.
third grade, fourth grade, like health class or whatever. Yeah.
I'm like, I want to go talk in schools because I was never ever taught. Like, it's just not, I don't know if it's just my sphere or if it's like a lot of women are just not really taught this, but it's actually really magical and it really serves you really, really well, this whole rhythm. And it's so important and it's so powerful. And it's like my soapbox to just be like, track your cycle, not just when you get your period, not just that you get your period, not any of that. Just like really track, because you can get it down to where, like, that on day 12, you get all your bright ideas or whatever. You can really, like, you have your own rhythm within that, where it's like, okay, on day 20, I'm gonna want to go on a date with my husband. I need to keep him like in tune that this is coming, which, like, that may sound like a lot of structure for a lot of us. It does not have to be overnight. Like, the very first thing you can start doing is just start looking at it and like, this week is my fall, this week is my winter. Just
Go by
gentle
week by
structure.
week. I like that.
Yeah, just week by week, it's a season. And I always think about, like, spring and fall tend to be people's favorite seasons. They're mine because they're transitions. And transitions actually can be kind of ugly,
Yeah.
messy, chaotic. Like in the spring, it's like some stuff's coming up, but there's still mud. And in the fall, it's like really beautiful, but it's also death and dying, and
Mhm.
so it's the same for us. And so, like, remembering that those transitions, your spring and your fall, are can be chaotic and messy, and that's okay. That's like actually really beautiful. So just enough structure. If you can just have a little mantra of like, it's okay to be messy, or it's okay to not have it all together. Or, I was listening to your episode about just pick a small area.
Yeah. Don't do your whole house. Don't do your whole house.
It's the same thing with this. You do not have to all of a sudden be like, I know that on day 12, like, just become aware. Maybe this is the first time that you're hearing about inner seasons and you're like, oh, snap, that's kind of nice. I like looking at it that way. Like, I never,
Never thought of
resonated with
that.
the like follicular phase. How am I supposed to know I'm in my follicular phase? I'm not a doctor. But if you can, we all know the seasons. We all have some anchor points for, okay, it's colder and I want to be inside, or it's really warm and beautiful and I want to go play in the water and it's messy, whatever. Just become aware of that and start to see how it bears fruit in your life as you give yourself permission to be a woman and have inner seasons.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ada. I think what you've said, it just simplifies a complex process, a complex natural process, but you just simplified it. And I love how you tied it to how our ADHD brains work and how we can biohack it, in a way. So thank you so much for being on the show today. If someone wanted to reach you, how can they find you?
Well, these journals are kind of new. I just rolled them out. So I've got an author page on Amazon, and it's just Ada Gore, Guided Journals by Ada Gore. And on Instagram, it's Ada Gore 444.
Awesome. We'll link to those in the show notes to make sure everybody has those too.
Yeah.
So we all can connect with each other too, just we all have our own little specialties. And I just love that we could just support each other with information, with encouragement, with ideas, with anchor points, with all of the things. So Ada, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.